Donald Trump is shitting on the Constitution again. Like, this should be news to everybody. Like, what's crazy is that we're just like, oh yeah, it's unconstitutional. We all knew that. Why do we have a president who's doing unconstitutional shit? He took an oath to uphold the Constitution. He's not doing that. Get him out. He doesn't care about the Constitution. He wants to be king. He calls himself a king.
Means the issue will likely end up at the Supreme Court.
Let's do it.
This morning, President Trump making waves over his...
I can't wait for it to be at the Supreme Court. I hope it does go to the Supreme Court.
...suggestion the federal government should once again run the city of Washington, D.C.
Meanwhile, the president escalated his war of words with Ukraine's President Volodymyr Zelensky.
Trump wants to take over wants the federal government to take Washington, D.C. I thought that we have a corrupt country. That's all there is. You need to take it. Wants to take Washington, D.C. I thought you were going to take Panama, buddy.
Jared Hill has more as Mr. Trump ramps up talks with Russia on how to end the war in Ukraine.
Today, President Donald Trump is going up against two major American cities. Overnight on Air Force One, he complained about crime in the nation's capital and backed a Republican idea for the federal government to take over Washington, D.C.
Take over Washington, D.C.
I think that we should run it strong, run it with law and order.
The city's mayor later posted on social media, Washington, D.C. is a world-class city. This comes hours after President Trump pulled support for New York City's efforts to curb heavy traffic by charging drivers higher fees in busy areas during business hours.
We're in a fight. We do not back down. Not now, not ever.
I love, what's her name? Holcomb? What's her name? Hochul? Is that her name? Governor Hochul over in New York. She ain't taking no shit from King Trump. She straight up said, we haven't had a king in New York for 250 years. You can go fuck himself. I love it. Keep going, Governor of New York.
The country protests intensified against sweeping federal firings. CBS News has learned more than 6,000 IRS employees will have their jobs eliminated by the end of the week. Meanwhile, President Trump escalated his war of words with Ukraine's President Volodymyr Zelensky.
A dictator without elections.
Trump accused Zelensky.
A dictator without elections. He's calling Zelensky a dictator. What in the hell? What world is this? He calls Zelensky a dictator, and everyone's like, yes, he's a dictator now. Since when is he a dictator? He looks miserable, says that chip guy. I don't think he actually wanted to be president, just wanted to win the elections. Well, you're in luck. He's not actually president. Elon Musk is the president. He just plays golf all day. He spent $10 million of my money, $10 million of my money to play golf in the last 30 days. $10 million to play golf in 30 days.
Of starting the war, which began after Russia invaded Ukraine 3 years ago. Zelensky has suggested President Trump lives in a disinformation space. The White House has held talks with both countries this week aimed at ending the war. Jared Hill, CBS News.
And yesterday, President Trump also expressed support for Elon Musk's plan to give 20% of Doge savings to taxpayers and to pay down federal debt.
I want my money. Where's my money, Ellen? I want my money, Ellen. Man, I want that one. That fresh Doge money. Who's going to sign it? Is it going to be Ellen or is it going to be Donald? Who's going to sign my check? I want my money. Give me some money. I want a piece. I want a piece of that good Doge money. How am I going to get it? You gonna send it out? How are you gonna send it? You gonna send as a guy gonna come to my house and deliver my Doge check?
A Fox News alert. Overnight, Hamas terrorists releasing the bodies of 4 innocent Israeli hostages brutally murdered after being...
Wow, they really laid that one on thick. Yeah, they were innocent and they were murdered. God damn, brutally murdered. Here's the Hamas guy. The war criminal Netanyahu and his Nazi army killed them with missiles from Zionist warplanes. So were they, who do you believe? Were they brutally murdered or were they killed by Zionist warplanes?
Being kidnapped from their houses more than a year ago. Among them, the terrorists say, are the 2 youngest and most recognized victims.